Hello, everyone. Can you
Yeah, but you're
hear
looking.
me?
I can hear you very well. I just don't see your camera's off.
Issues with the camera. It's okay. We'll start from here. Hi, everyone. Just want to make sure that everyone is able to hear me.
Your camera's off, Near.
Um, Sorry about it. I have some issues with my camera currently, but I guess we'll continue without it, so that's okay. I'd be happy if if somebody can actually let me know if they're able to hear me.
Sounds great.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. 1 sec.
So while we're waiting to get started,
Let
if
me
anybody
just.
wants to say where they're from, just so we can see where everybody's coming from tonight.
Okay, should be able to see me right to have the shared presentation for today. So welcome everyone. My name is Nir and I am the customer success manager here at Atera, and I will be the one moderating today's webinar. So thank you for joining. And what we're going to do today is do a little bit of a deep dive into the RMM capabilities we have here in Atera. I guess again we already had like some kind of a sound check, and you know that you can hear and see me. So we can already start. So what we're going to do today is to go over the agent, the Atera agent, which is obviously the RMM capabilities we have over here, but we'll start a little bit with the Atera agent, which is the essential component for the RMM capabilities, explain how to install it, we can go over the devices once they are created from once the agent is installed, understand a little bit about the monitoring features that we have over here, whether these are threshold or creating alerts, deploying patches and so on. And we're gonna finish with some reports that can be useful. As we do with all our webinars, we'll finish with the live Q&A. So if you have any questions, please type them in the Q&A, and we'll be able to answer them in the Q&A session. Before going over to the actual presentation, I just want to remind that we do have some other webinars that you can already find this information in our site. We do have also a knowledge base requires an extensive knowledge base where you can find a lot of the information over there. And we do have our support team, which does excellent jobs and provide chat support for a period of 24/7. And here to answer any of your questions. They do answer very quickly in a matter of seconds. So encourage you, if you do the need, to be able to contact them and go over there. So without further ado, we are going to go over the presentation itself. If you would allow me just 1 second here to share the screen for the presentation for the actual session for the RMM.
While you're doing that, in the background, if anybody has any questions, there's a Q&A tab, there's a chat tab, and there's a Q&A tab. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask them. We'll either answer them during the call or I'll answer them online as we go.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much, Bill. as we usually start, always we go over the dashboard that we have here in Atera. So you should be able to get a quick glimpse of your system already from over here. This is something which is very modular, so you should be able to actually remove or add new ones if when they are available. Again, even reset to default if required, but it's a quick way for you to get a quick glance on your system, whether these are the tickets or specifically alert that you can see some availability monitoring or alerts that you see over here, which we will go a little bit more in depth later on. And before we even go to start with the agent on that specific, I wanted to go first of all to let you know this environment that we are going over right now. This is currently the MSP. We do have as well the ITD. However, again, as far as the RMM especially goes, there aren't a lot of differences between the two of them. So if you have an ITD, do not worry. This is again would be relevant for you as well. So basically, that's pretty much the same for this webinar. So the thing that I wanted to go over first is to talk about the component. Let's say that the basic component that whenever you start using Atera, the first thing that you would usually will have is either the customer or sites if it's an IT department, the IT department product, because those from under those you can actually add those devices, add this contact, add these users that you have into the system. So this is one of the things that you are going to be doing. You'll find it over here under the customers. If we go into one of the customers that we have already over here, we can see the tab over here on the top that you have the different options that you can see over here. Again, this being an MSP, we do have also, for example, contracts over here, but here you can actually see the contract. What it's more relevant for us over here is the devices, which you can see over here in the list. Again, once we have devices installed, we can actually associate them, and I'll show you how, with or the one of specific customers or sites. I do want also to let you know that one of the things that you can do over here is also create specific folder that would be relevant. So if you can see over here, this server over here, GH serve, is actually under the testing folder. You can actually add new folders from over here, and then actually once you have them, you can actually associate those specific devices with a folder. The idea behind it will be more clarified as we go on, but you can create folders, for example, for servers or folders for workstation, and then later on, once you go a little bit more into the automation and the alerts, you'd be able to associate not only with specific site or a customer, you'd be able also to do it with a specific folder, making it more, allowing you more granularity when in the way that you are able to use these devices. So again, as I mentioned, devices, how do we actually even start with getting those devices? What you would like to do essentially is to be able to use the Atera agent. Installation you can find over here, there is a link. There is also an additional link that you can find also, by the way, from over here. But once you have the page for the Atera installer, you can actually download from over here. You see that we have an MSI for Windows, but it do support also Mac and Linux as well. Here you can assign it to the customer, which, as I mentioned before, that could be something that would make it a lot easier, because once this installer is going to be running on that specific machine that you have, it's going to install the agent already associated automatically with the customer. And even potentially, if you have sub ones, you can even use that as well. So even associated with a specific folder, right? Once we have that, there are several options. We can download the MSI using this click that we have over here, but we do have also the possibility to use the command prompt from over here to run this as an admin. We can use that a link that you can give as a shareable link for the clients where they will go, and then it will download automatically the installer for them from over there. Obviously, they will need to run the installation. This one can be used, for example, for installing it using the command prompt. You can use that also with group policy to be able to install the MSI using group policy. So there's a variety of options for you to be able to do that. Don't necessarily need to do it manually. Once we have an agent, we do have the section over here for the devices, and we can see the devices themselves. Before I jump into the different features that we have in the system, I just want to let you know that we do have a new UI for the devices page. So we added a couple of different features over here, so we can actually compact and basically kind of resize everything that you see over here into one page. Makes it a lot more clear and easier actually to follow. Everything filters basically remained as very similar to what you have over here, what you had before. You can have a different you are able to filter by different things. For example, if you're looking for specific device, you can actually use that filter over here, or there are even additional more advanced filter that you can actually add, either aggregate, so like add specific filters, or use the or operator instead to filter by either or different fields that you are looking for. In addition to that, if we are going over here on the top, besides the edit, we also added over here the option to add columns. So right now you can actually even remove or add columns from the list. And finally, it's very modular, so you can actually right now even move these columns manually and reorganize them, so that makes it a lot more easier to use today. Now, a lot of the features that you have some of them we will when we go into inside a specific device, we will see a lot more information within that specific device over there. However, some of this information you can already even perform from over here. I believe that I have, for example, one over here, my own machine. So here are the actions that you can do from over here. So first of all, you can get like availability to see if the device is online and offline, using that information. Obviously, who last logged in, who's the customer again site it's associated with, if there is a specific folder, alerts, which again something we'll touch upon a little later on. But even though you can see the alerts in a separate window, you can also see with a quick glance over here how many alerts, and again the different options you have over here. Even if you needed to do the installation of the patches, you can actually do it from over here. So if in this case we have one available patches, we can actually use the manage and be able to select and install that specific patch when it's relevant. And here we have the option for the remote control. The default option that we have is for Splashtop, but we also have the option to AnyDesk as well. By the way, Splashtop, even though it's a default, you can actually go into the settings and change it to AnyDesk. And we do also offer the integration with TeamViewer and ScreenShare. So if you have them, you can actually integrate them, and then in the settings set it that, for example, TeamViewer would be the default option. Under this section over here, we have the different options and the actions that you can actually perform over here. So as I mentioned, available patches from over here, but you can actually go into patch management and do it from over there. We can, for example, access a software inventory from over here. This I find something that can be very useful, because if you want to uninstall something that you might leave it in one of the devices that might not be not supposed to be there, right? Was installed maybe by mistake or unintentionally. That's not something that you need to have over there. You can easily go over here and again use the uninstall option over there. You do have access using the software installation also to be able to a variety of different software that, again, most of them are taken from Chocolatey or Homebrew for Mac. And there is also a possibility for a private repository, which we'll talk a little bit later. But this is one of the things that we will focus. While you can actually do that manually from over here, we're going to focus a little bit more on these options, how you can actually automate them, because that would be the main goal, to be able to automate them rather than doing that manually, but still know that you have these options to do it from over here. There is an option also to be able to run script from over here, so you can actually go over here and perform the run script. We'll touch upon that as well. I do want actually to point out something that is quite new over here. So you can see the command prompt in the PowerShell. We already had this option to run them in the past. However, we did add an option for the generative AI command recommendation that actually can give you the possibility to open ports, for example. So you can actually use that in order to be able, if you're not entirely sure, sometimes it will take you, sometimes might be to find a specific command that you want to run to be able to perform it. So with the generative AI, you just need to write it down in the prompt, what you want it to, the action, what will be the command that you want it to be doing, and it will create a command for you over here, so you can actually, run it yourself. So that's like a quite an easy and useful things to be doing. And this is also another way for you to be able to leverage some of the AI functionalities. We do have quite several of them, and I'll be able to show you them during the session. PowerShell, same thing that we have over here. You can have like different ports that as well that you can actually different. You can have a different recommendation that you can actually use from over here to decide what you want to perform. You write down the specific in the prompt, the specific action, and it will generate it for you as well. What I would like also is to go over the script that I just mentioned before. So one of the things that you can actually do is actually run a script. There are either the script that you created yourself or script that you can find in our shared library. All the scripts you see over here, again, are being tested for malware. So that wouldn't be a problem when they are to use any of those scripts. Again, as far as usability goes, you probably would like to see the one that are being cloned, meaning they're used the most, and get the higher votes. And based on that, you can see if that's a script that might be functional enough for you for your needs. But we do have like quite a big and shared library. But I think the crown jewel of what we have developed recently is the option to use AI in order to be able to create the script. So while we do have the script editor over here where you can manually actually write down the information that you would like in order to be able to create the script, we do have over here this generative AI script. And similar to what we have with the generative command that I showed you before, you can write in the prompt over here whatever you would like it to perform, and it will do it for you. So if we'll go, for example, we write down update Java or right, and we can see to generate, and hopefully I wrote it correctly. Yes. So what we'll do, it will generate that specific script that will be able to perform it. It's possible that you might need to change some of the information that you have over here, whether it's, for example, a specific path that it's not really relevant in your case. And again, these minor changes over here. But the fact that you can, with a quick writing, by quickly writing in a prompt what you wanted to do, and with a click of a button, you can get a script created for you in a matter of seconds, that you might even, even if you need a couple of minutes more to spend on it, for a script that might take you an hour or more, this is really revolution. This is a game changer. It allows you to be able to do that from over here, and that makes it very easy. And again, once you have that over here, you create the script, then you can actually use it in our system to be able to apply it in different other locations, which besides over here on the device itself, as I showed you, you will see later on that there are also other locations which you can actually do that. So if we go again a little bit into the device itself and have a quick look over here. So here we can see the device. This one, again, this device we can see over here is online. We do have a couple of things that we already have that we can see before. For example, the option to do the remote connection. Under manage here, you can see that we have the same options as before. A couple of them, like registry editor and pause alerts, for example. These are options that if you're doing it from the list, you don't have these options, but you can do it from over here. So this is another way for you to actually access those. Again, you are able from over here to see monitor devices. One of the things is that while we do have the Atera agent that can be installed on devices, whether there are
excuse me 1 second. Your
Yes.
screen's not showing. Your screen's not showing. It's only showing the script of the page of all the scripts. So it's not showing the live movement.
Sorry.
Okay,
Thank you,
no
thank you. Let me just remove that from over here. My apologies. Let me return for that, and I do apologize. Script I skipped for something else over here. So yeah. So basically, you should be able to see that right now. I believe you are able to see that. Just making sure. Anyway,
yeah, that's live. It's good.
Okay, great. Over here, what I'll just repeat again, what I started to say is that we do have different option over here. Once we're in the system, there are a couple of things that already we saw that we had before. For example, we do have the options to connect in remote to that specific machine using either Splashtop, AnyDesk, as I showed before. Same of functionality that we had before, for example, the manage. We do have a couple of things over here, like the registry editor that we don't have that if you're doing it from the list. You don't have the specific option, but it does appear over here. You can create a specific ticket already from over here, so it's going to be associated with that specific device that we are in. We do have some other things over here that we can see, for example, the monitored devices. What I started mentioning is that we do not all the devices are devices that you actually installed an agent on them. So while you have like your laptops, your servers, and workstations that you can actually install an agent with them, there are SNMP devices which you cannot do it, but you can still leverage the agent to be able to do that by being able to actually use the agent to monitor devices. Currently, this one is not monitoring any device, but once we'll see that there is an SNMP device in the system, we can also see, when it's to which agent is associated with, and this agent is used to monitor its functionality. By the way, you can also create those monitor device from over here. So besides the other functions you have over here, the ticket, the contact, even the agent installed, you can get over here. You can actually add new monitor devices, and once you actually have that selected, you'd be able also to decide which device which basically agent, right? The device with that specific agent, you'd be able to monitor. Besides that, here we have the general information of the machine, like the machine name. We have the availability monitoring, so we're monitoring it for appearance. By default, it comes disabled for most of the devices, meaning laptops and workstations, but we do have that available both for servers and SNMP out of the box. But regardless, if you want to actually have that enabled, you just go over here and change it to be enabled. Another information like when the device was added, the logged in user, and so on. The customer, for example, when it's available. Here we can have like a quick metric. Shows from the last, by default shows the last 24 hours for the memory and CPU usage, but we can change it from over here again to show last week up to last month. Over here, we can have like information on the operation system software that we have there installed. Here we have also sections specifically for the custom fields. Custom fields is something that we do allow over here because it could be that some cases you might still want to be able to have fields that are your own for your own usage. So here in Atera, obviously, you have the option to do that. You can create a field. We do have a variety of different fields that you can actually create and for different entities. So if this field, for example, is relevant for the asset, for the devices, for the agents, we do have the possibility to create them for tickets as well, for example, or also for customers. So usually under this section, within that specific entity, in this case, the device, we can actually see those custom fields that you created. And we have a variety, as I said, fields that you can create. Either they can be a list field or a list field with dependency, meaning that you can have like another select a specific option and then have like a sub option to select from it. We do allow also for multiple selection using a checkbox field if that's the case. And we have also text and also a date field. So variety of different options for you there. Here we have the information on the hardware as well as disk. And here on this side of the screen, we can see the profiles. Now, the profiles is, again, where we start talking about more of the automation functionality here. The idea, again, leveraging the agent, the functionality, getting that information to be able to either monitor specific functionality on the device to let you know when you have an issue or not, using the threshold profile, or to be able to deploy specific patches software on that specific device using the automation, and using the configuration policy to be able to control the reboot when the reboot is going to occur. So all of these options is the thing that we are going to focus on from over here. Obviously, you can actually go into these specific profiles from over here and even click manage in order to be able to access. But what I would like to show you is that how you can access it from the admin side. So over here under this section, under the monitoring and automation, you can actually go to the threshold side. Now, there's a variety of already different threshold that you can see over here. It's important to know that you can create as many threshold profiles that you would like. However, you can only assign one threshold per device. And the idea behind it is that if you're going to have like multiple thresholds, because you are monitoring, you might find out that you're monitoring the same thing. You might have a conflicting alerts running at the same time. So one threshold profile for one device, that should be enough. We can go over here and create like something for test for me. And here, where you can actually see the screen that we have. Right now, we don't have any threshold to monitor, but we can create new ones where we can click from over here. But before we do that, I actually wanted to show you the presets that we have. There might be an existing there might be existing things that are already relevant for you that you would like to be using. So you might not need even to create the threshold items already from the get-go. You can already rely on some of the information you have over here. So if we can select, for example, these are, again, items that are commonly more used when you're monitoring personal computers. And so you can use that. For example, if it's a server, you might have a lot more options, lot more items that you would like to actually monitor. And the idea behind it is that you can see over here, it does actually allow you for, there are three types of alerts that we have, which is critical, warning, and also information. Only the critical and the warning, you can actually have some kind of a alert notification, push notification that would run and let you also get you updated. While information, again, you should be able to see that as well in the list. But again, probably that would be one of the less relevant one, where you might have either it's not that urgent, or that's something that, or just letting you know because you might have already had resolve that issue, and we be able also to see how you can leverage some of the functionality here to be able to do that. All of what we see over here, again, can be deleted. So you can remove already everything that you have already from the preset that you see, but you can also edit it manually and make the changes yourself. So well, in this case, we have like a threshold item that follows a CPU load in this case. Here it's set up that the percentage is everything that, when it arrives 90% and or up, and the time period is within what we selected over here. And that means that it's going to create that specific alert for you. You still are able also to manually change it over here. So still you'd have possibility to decide, in this case, what percentage are you looking at and what the time period that you're looking at. But what I wanted actually to show over here, which I think it's even more important, is the auto healing script. So as I mentioned before, you might have cases where this specific threshold that you're getting the notification for, or you're getting the alert for, you might already be able to have a let's say a preemptive action to resolve the issue, and that can be done using an script. What it does is just connects you to the script library that you have over here, where you can actually select the relevant script. That works wonderful, obviously, with conjunction with the AI generator, because again, you might not have a specific idea on how that can be resolved. You can always try to use the AI generator, the AI script generator, to ask it to create the specific script for you. And once done, you can actually have that over here. It will appear over here under the list, and you can actually select it. So again, that is something that can work for you, because obviously, some of these cases you'd be able to actually solve with a script. So what better way to do it for the system, to let Atera to be able not only to notify you, but also resolve this issue for you, so you know that that's already been behind you. There is no actual action that you need to take care of that specific moment. So really is a great thing that you can actually leverage from over here. Besides that, by the way, we do have thresholds that are relevant, either Windows, Mac, or Linux. Right now, we are seeing everything that is selected, but if you can use these options over here in order to be able to filter them, so it will show you only the ones that are relevant. It will the other options which are less relevant, again, will be grayed out. Or you can go and show all the different threshold items that you can actually select. And over here from the top, you can actually select a specific new item. So here, when you create a new item, you can go with the preset we have over here. For example, you want to monitor again software installed or uninstalled. There is an here the option to be able to go with a custom selection. So a variety of different things that you can actually do from over here. Some of them you already seen in the preset that were selected, but there is a variety of different things that you can actually do over here. Even check if antivirus or firewall is inactive, specific service state, for example. You do have a variety of different options, and as well, obviously, if it's something that is possible to resolve using an heal script, you add it over here. In addition to that, on top of that, we do have also the possibility to create your own script to be able to monitor. Again, it's possible that even though we do have a variety of different options here, maybe that specific scenario, that specific, let's say, functionality that you are looking to monitor is not available within the list that we have. You'd still be able to create your own script, add it over here, and then based on that specific script, what it's supposed to be checking, you can decide obviously if you want it to just create like an information one, or again either warning or critical. Here you can decide what will be the specific threshold that you are looking for, whether it's going to be numeric or text, and then here decide whether it's going to be equal or greater than, lower than, equal to that specific value. Once you set that specific value, you can say that script is monitoring that specific that specific functionality, that specific say item, and it's going to, if the value is, for example, equal to that amount that we have over here, it's going to trigger the alert to be running. And as always, even in this case, you can have the auto healing script applied over here. That again more or less focuses on the threshold that we have over here. I would like to show you as well where we can actually see the alerts. So if we go into the list over here, you can already see the alerts. Some of them, alerts that created before. So you can see this one was 15 days ago for that specific. You can see the customer again or site and the machine that was triggered for. You are even able to actually create tickets from over here if that's something that is relevant. By clicking over here, you can actually see what was the alert that is about. So this is where you can actually access and have a look at those specific alerts that you have over here. But we do have also another option that I mentioned for the push notification, where if we'll go to the admin back and under the monitoring and automation, you have the alert settings over here. So here you can decide if you want to get notified. In addition to what you see in the alerts list, you might also want to get an email sent to you. So you can set it over here. For example, you can even have it create a ticket for you from over here. If there is a specific time frame that you don't want to get notified, you can use this option over here to just send it between those specific hours. So that's everything that you over here. I do want also to mention one last thing that I forgot. I'll just open this one from over here, is the profile assignment. Once you have the threshold created, you can assign that specific profile. So you can assign it by the level of the customer or the site, again, if it's IT. And as if you recall before, I also mentioned that you can actually have different folder that you can create within that customer or site. So in this case, that's where it comes on useful for you, because you can select a specific site and then say this is profile would be relevant only for all the machines that are servers. And I have a folder for all the servers. That's where I put it over there. And you can even go as granular as that specific devices via the option of the agent. Another one of the profiles that we were discussing that you can find within a device is the IT and automation patches, which we can see over here. as opposed to the IT automation, to the threshold where you would need to have one specific threshold profile per device. Here you can actually apply as many as profiles that you would like, and that might be even a recommended way to be dealing with it. But before we go into those specific automation profiles, do want to point out a couple of things that we already can see over here in the screen. For example, here you have the option to exclude patches. While there is an also possibility to exclude the patches on the level of the profile itself, here is a more global option over here for you to exclude those patches. So from over here, you can decide which patches you don't want to be at all deployed to those specific devices, and you can exclude them from over here. And the other settings that we see over here is the run on offline agents. The idea behind the run on offline agents is that potentially not all the devices might be online when you selected that specific time to run it, whether you ran that profile manually or you selected a specific time. This option, what it does, it allows you to keep on running on those offline agents every hour within the specific period of time that you selected. So if you have it, for example, for a day, then it means that every 24 hours, it will keep on running for a period of 24 hours. Once you reach that 24 hours, it will stop running. Right, so you can have different options to do it. What we usually would recommend by default is to have it for a week. Again, don't think that it's more necessary to run it more, but again, a week it makes more sense that it will be able to catch that specific device once it's online within that period of a week. So to add it over there, we're going to create a new profile. Oh, we have one. Okay, that's great. So while we're over here and we're looking at those specific profiles, so what you're looking over here, what you will be able to see is the different, say, type of tasks that you can have the profile run. We divided it by specific sections to make it more comfortable and easy to identify. So we have one for the OS patch management. So whether you're running critical updates or service pack drivers and so on, you have that section selected over here. So that will be responsible for the OS patch management. Here under this section, it's everything that is more related to the software. So you have a third-party software. We can actually update them. The patches are being installed via Chocolatey, as you can see over here, or Homebrew. So you're getting it from over there. And this is where you have this specific action. You can also have a software bundle, which would allow you to have different software installed. We can select this option, for example, over here. You can see that we can create a specific bundle, decide whether we want it Mac or Windows. Might have a variety of different ones, but we can create a new one over here, for example. So, for example, find VLC, and let's add Zoom, for example, right? So you can create this old bundle over here. So potentially once we create it, what it will do is that once this profile is running, it will be able to install on that specific device that is associated with that profile. Upgrades, you can have different upgrades also from over here. So we have different upgrades, either going to be with Windows 10 or Windows 11, so you have that selected. And here, the last section that we have is more for maintenance, disk management, reboot. And we do as well, as you've already seen in different other places, we also add an option over here to be able to have your own script attached over here. So you'll be able to run something very specific. You can potentially even have like a script over here that will tell you install this um, specific software that I have, or that specific executable that is on a shared drive, for example. As long as they're in the network that I would like to have access for it, they should be able to do it from over here. So quite useful as well. The best practices. Now, obviously, to each their own, and I would be the last one to remiss to say that to tell you how you should be able to use the patch management or to deploy them. But as I mentioned before, there are more of a recommendation, or especially that is why we allow this option to be able to apply so many profile, is that it's possible that if you select all these options with one profile to be able to perform all these actions, it's possible it might not be able to complete successfully. One example can be the critical and security updates, which require a restart when it's supposed to be running. It's possible that they would run and finish the installation of those patches and would restart the device before, for example, if you have that option over here selected for the software management, before you completed also installing the software over here. So again, the recommendation to be able to divide as much as you would like, and we even would even suggest to go even more in depth and have maybe even just a specific patch profile for only the critical patches, right? And have maybe separate one for service packs and drivers as well, right? One specifically only for the software management. Software bundle, for example, can be very useful if you have a new device that comes in and you want to have a quick and easy installation. That works very well in conjunction with the option that we have over here that selects checkbox the run profiles with newly installed agents. So you install an agent, the agent is deployed on that specific device. That means that also this automation profile would run and install those specific software for you, for example. Obviously, it can be used for other things, but that's, for example, one possibility of how you can actually use that feature for your benefit and let it do the installation automatically for you. Same thing, for example, for the maintenance reboot. One of the things that you can do is actually, have the reboot. We would recommend, for example, to have maybe a separate reboot. A separate reboot profile, because again, while you might have one profile that runs the critical and security updates, you might have another one for the software management, but then again, wouldn't require to have the reboot. So you can schedule the reboot to run at the end of the day or at the end of the week. So you can have different, as many as profiles as possible, and feel free again to do to use it. That's why it probably would also require a little bit of experiment, because again, each client has their own environment, and you would still want to be able to use it, to see what works for you. But just know that you can create multiple, and again, these are the recommended recommendation that we can add as well. Speaking of schedule, this is where you can actually schedule. So while here on the top you can actually run it automatically run now, here you can actually select the frequency. You can select its specific time that it will run only once, but you can even select a variety of different days, months, and so on. And then you can actually that's selecting that specific the specific frequency. We can have it, every first day of the month, or if it's a weekly one, run every Tuesday, for example, at a specific time. Save, and we'll have it running at that specific time. In addition to that, here in the bottom, we do have the option to exclude patches. So this is the OS approval settings that we see. If we click on manage, we need to actually save that one. So I'll just save that one. And you can manage. And here you can see the option to be able to exclude. So as I said before, we do have the global exclude, which you can do from the list, but here you can actually go to a specific profile and say, I want only this this profile, I want to exclude those those uh, uh, those specific patches. You can search them by KB as it written over here, and then you can actually exclude, and they will appear over here under the list. What I do want also to point out is that OS patch installation settings that we see. Now, one of the things that you might have is that once a patch is being released by Microsoft, or again, if it's relevant for Macintosh, you might not want to have it installed immediately. Again, you might have, for example, new non-critical updates that you would think that you would still want maybe to give it a couple of days before you decided to have that. And so instead of having the option over here to always approve them, you can have postpone and select a specific period of time, which again, by default, we have 14 days, but you can even go lower than that, up to 30 days, and before it going to get auto-approved. What it means is that when these non-critical updates come from Windows, they're not going to get approved automatically, but they're going to be postponed, so to speak, for a specific period of time. And once they are once the period has actually passed, it's going to be automatically approved. While they are postponed, or if you have ones that are excluded from over here, we don't have any patches currently from the list. But let's see if we'll add something just from the list, just from over here. Let's see that we'll have something excluded. So once we have one over here, you can still also decide whether you want to approve it or to exclude. So you postpone the specific patch, find that it's not, to your liking, you can still exclude it from over here, or going to one that are already excluded, you can approve it from over here. So that goes over everything that we have in the settings for the IT automation. I do want also to mention, or I mentioned a little bit before, that we also have an option for a private repository. This option is currently open only to the top tiers plans in Atera. That means that Enterprise or Superpower, it's only available over there. But the idea is basically that you would be able to create your own repository. You'd need to have the repository used by any of the different three platforms that we're working with, which is Azure Artifacts, JFrog, or MyGet. And using NuGet, you should be able to perform this communication here with Atera. This is where you can actually see the software repository in this section. We do have more in-depth instructions, so you need to go over there and see how to set it up. But again, once you have that specific platform that you decided, whether it's Azure or JFrog or MyGet, and you have over here, you can actually upload those specific software that you decided are relevant for you. And this is, again, excellent if you have your own in-house developed softwares and you want to be able to deploy them. You can actually upload them from over here, or enter again a specific URL that they are going to be located on, add that specific information, and once you have that, you upload them, and they're going to be available for you to then later on get installed from the IT automation profiles. So again, these are things that you can actually do from over here. One thing that I wanted also to touch is the last and the third profile that we have. This is the configuration profile. Idea behind it to be able to have different policies in general that you would be able to apply on the devices. Right now, what we have is only policy for the reboot, and which we obviously can leverage with the usage to the options that we have. So just going over here for a second. we'll skip to any of the one over here. So we do have the checkbox over here to do the reboot if needed. But once we run the reboot once there is a specific OS patch installed and the reboot is done, you might not, again, you might still be in cases where maybe the user is still working on the device over there. So we do have the option to add this, giving you the option to be able to decide when you want to reboot that specific machine. So from over here, if you're going to select this enable button for the Windows Update Restart configuration, there are different things you can actually select on what you would like to do. So it can be either you restart outside of specific operating hours, restart after a selected time period. What's again more popular and used a lot is they allow the end user to control the device restart. What it does, you can decide on a specific prompt that would appear. Here is the message, and here you can also decide how to customize it to your liking. And after that specific period of time, every specific period of time, they will have a prompt that tells them that they need to restart the machine. Even in case they might not be, because obviously, not everyone, some people, just ignore these messages automatically. But you still need to obviously reboot the device. You can have this checkbox over here selected as well. So after 5 prompts, if they're not actually rebooting it, it's going to do the force restart over here. Another option that we see over here is the selection that you can have for whether the update's going to be controlled either via Atera, which is something again that we have recommended, and that would be the option by default. But again, might be cases you would decide that only the operating system Windows local updates will be allowed automatically via the device itself, so without the control of Atera. So we still even give you that option to decide that from over here. And here you can decide where you're going to associate it. So similar to what you saw before, you can actually select it whether it's for a specific customer, specific folder, or a specific device. You can associate them as well. By the way, same idea over here. Very similar to what I showed in the threshold. You can actually associate them from over here. Okay, that kind of concludes everything that we have on the RMM section on the automation, the agent automation. But there are also possibility for you to be able to see reports from Atera. And there are different reports, some of them out of the box, and some possibilities for advanced reports that you'd be able to allow you to get additional information, even perform specific actions for some of these reports. If we're going into the reports, what we want to look at is the reports and monitoring. I'm not going to go over each and every one of what we see over here. We'll try to sample the one that there are a lot more in use. So we do have the auditor reports over here, where once you select that one, once you select a specific customer again on site, will give you an detailed inventory of that specific site, as far as what devices that you have over there. Specific software inventory, so it's hardware inventory, software inventory, even specific thresholds that are running over there. So that's an easy and quick way for you to have that selected. Another report that we have is the patch search and deploy. So while you have different patches, you might want to be able to see what's the situation with those patches, which patches are installed, and you might even be able, using this one, to install patches that might be still missing. You can select one or multiple customers. You can filter by KB. So over here, you can have, if you know the KB, you can just select that specific KB from over the list. We are going to go with the option to filter by everything. Here we're going to get to see the list of all those patches that we have selected. Here it shows all the patches. We can see the installed patches that are already over here. And we can see also the ones that are not installed. And what's great about that is that even if they are not installed, you can actually select this one and perform the installation from over here. Besides those patch search and deploy, we do have also the patch automation feedback. So from over here, you can see again a little bit more of the patch activity, see how that information, how it's been doing, how it's been running. Let's see over here. So here we can see again some status of the patches success rate that we have. We can see the failed patches as well as successful. And again, over here we have a lot more of the failed ones, but get that information from over here. Another report that it's a useful one is the software report. Here you can actually be able to see the installed software that you have on a device from a list. So you can have different device over the different software that we have, and see on number of devices that you have them installed on. So for example, the Atera engine, for example, installed on 3, Airco, for example, installed. And if you have several of them, you can actually click on the button that we have over here and be able to see those specific devices. And what we do also give you the option is to decide whether you want to actually uninstall them. Those devices that we see over here are offline, so we don't have this option, but it's possible maybe with this one. I think that would work. Let's see. Yeah, for example. Yeah, that was related to me. You can actually do the uninstall, and you can even uninstall it on all of them already from over here. So if you have several, you can just click over here and run the uninstall. So again, giving you, as you can see, on which devices you have the software, and you can also uninstall it from over here. Quite useful. In addition to that, we do have the advanced reports. The advanced reports are available for everyone that is from the 2nd tier and up, the plans of Atera. And you do have a variety of different reports that you can actually see from over here. Some of those can be like inventory report that might be again useful in this case to see that information that you find over here. But from the 3rd tier and up, you do have also the option to create your own report. So you can potentially go over here. In this case, the data set that we're looking for is for agent because we're looking for devices. And here on the list, you should be able to decide on specific information. So let's say that we're looking for agent's hardware, and we want, let's see, memory, module, motherboard, serial number, for example, battery. And once you just by a click of a button, you can add these specific fields as columns over here, run, and get those specific results. You can obviously even create different filters to be able to filter that information that you see over here. And there's also an option to create different visualizations. So this would display everything as a list, but you can have them as, again, different columns or bars. So these are the other options that you can do over here. Again, all of these can be used as options that you have once you have the 3rd tier and up. By the way, what I wanted to mention, which is relevant also for the classic reports as well as the existing report, no matter which of the reports that you see over here, we do have the option to use the schedule report, where you can actually select a specific scheduled report over here and then be able to select who you want to send it. Obviously, you can send it to either the contacts or the technicians, and decide when you want it to be running and sent. So again, either weekly or monthly, and these reports will, on that specific period, would run and send it information for those specific contacts. Okay, that I believe again concludes the session that we have, the demonstration. Be happy to answer if you have any questions.
I'm pretty sure I answered most of the questions that were presented, but if anybody has anything else.
So I don't see that there is anything specifically from over here. So yeah, I mean, we already went over that some of the information before. So I hope that the presentation today, that demonstration, was useful to you and find additional more information about it. As I said before, we do have the online knowledge base where you can actually find that information, especially, for example, if it's again relevant, how to set up the private repository. And we do have also the global support that will be more than glad to help you. And we have 24/7. You can either reach them via email or via chat, which I very much recommend because they can answer to you immediately and help you over there. So thank you everyone for joining in. It's been a pleasure, and hope to see you in the next webinar. Goodbye for now.